Love, such a lovely breed. Your backdrop is
it's my wallpaper.
amazing. It looks like Adam and Eve situation. Oh, no, better than that. It's better than that.
It goes all the way.
It's not ruined by human figures.
No, there's no human figures.
It's beautiful. It could be almost under the ocean.
It could almost be, yeah. It has definitely, it's supposed to be sort of I guess a swamp. I don't know. But I put it up myself.
Hey, did you see that it says upper right, stream this to your audience, that you can do that?
Oh, well, I don't want to fool with it now because I don't know, like, that's too bad.
I'm going to say.
I'm going to tell you guys that you're live right
Oh
now.
my God. I'm trying to promote.
So live.
We're so live? Okay, thanks for letting us know, Catherine. Okay, now that everybody's seen my wallpaper. Hi, everybody. I'm Jane Clark. I am a filmmaker. I made a film called Elena Undone that I produced. And then I went in and made a couple of features, primarily Crazy Bitches. I did a Crazy Bitches web series. I just finished a film called Witchy Ways, which came out on Wednesday. Super sexy, supernatural lesbian rom-com, if you're into that kind of thing.
I am.
Yeah, I mean, who isn't really? So anyway, like I love talking to other filmmakers, female filmmakers that are doing what I do, working in the queer space. And when my pals at Venus came and asked me to do this for them, this film and chat, which is going to be a monthly series, I was psyched. I was psyched because I think that we all have a lot of stories to tell. And I think what they're doing is great. It's Venus community, right? So it's a community of women that are lesbian, bisexual, queer, trans, lesbian, non-binary. It's open to everybody. It's really a cool platform, I think, for people to go and find each other. So we are here to support that. And absolutely. I am doubly happy that my first guest on my new show is Wendy Jo Carlton, because Wendy Jo, number one, is like a prolific queer filmmaker. Just, you have made so many films, shorts, web series, like you've done it all. You impressed the shit out of you impressed me. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse.
Well, I'll take it.
Yeah, take it, because you've made such an amazing, your resume is so huge. It's unbelievable. So to have you as a first guest when you have made so many cool movies is something special. And also because we're friends, and that makes it special too. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I will give you a shout out real quick because I have the opportunity to do so, is that you helped me cast Good Kisser when I was still looking for the chemistry and the right chemistry, because Good Kisser, which people can watch, you can see the trailer on YouTube for free and easy, but you can watch on Amazon and Apple TV. It debuted on Netflix and Hulu for a lesbian film with no quote unquote famous actors in it. Netflix still brought it on, and Hulu brought Good Kisser on, and now it's on Apple and Amazon. But Jane, at a very critical time, you go with your instinct as a filmmaker. I do, where it's like, the chemistry, because it's a threesome, it's a love affair, it's complicated, it's about chemistry. So I was at a place where it's like, I can't quite find my Jenna that'll fit with that person. So Rachel Paulson I had already met, and knew she'd be really great for the character of Kate. And so that was like a cornerstone that I was building around. And in Chicago, Seattle, and you were the LA connection. And I'll always be grateful to you that you did open audition kind of thing, and you invited lots of folks, and then you taped it at a place in LA that's set up for that, because that's LA. They make it easy. But yes, you helped me find the right fit.
Well,
for
I have to say,
Disney.
it wasn't that hard. I mean, you were starting with Julie Erringer and Rachel Paulson, so like you already had a base. And that whole idea, I mean, I love auditioning. I don't know about you. Do you like auditioning?
I have mixed. I don't hate auditioning for sure. As a filmmaker, no. But you know why? Because in my nature, for me, I am a little bit of a gambler, and I love the unknown, and I love who's going to show up. Who's going to show up? What are we going to get?
Yeah.
Right? It's like doing lottery tickets, right?
Yeah.
But way better, because it's about talent and kind of kismet.
Yeah.
Who saw what when, and they're showing up to do a thing. I mean, you can't control that part. You can just put your signal out.
Right. No, exactly. Well, it was fun because I'm glad you asked me to do that. Basically, Wendy Jo asked me to do a chemistry read with some people, with her main people, and then having them read with other actors. And Carrie Elson Hodge had just finished Crazy Bitches season 2 with me. And I asked her to come in and as a reader, but I knew that when she got in there, I had a very strong feeling that you were going to love her. I mean, I just couldn't see how you wouldn't. And then when they all started reading together, I was like, oh, I was not wrong about this. Oh, good. I hope when he just sees what I see. Plus, in all honesty, I mean, I think that's what being, sort of compatriots in this really tough business is about, right? We have to support each other. You call and you need something and you need it done. I can do it. I'm going to go do it. And if I did the same thing to you, you'd go do it. Like, we support each other because
absolutely.
I mean, one of the things I find, really interesting is that you just keep making movies. Like, you keep finding the money. But my experience is the money is getting harder to find.
Yeah.
And so, so I wonder whether then we have to change what we're doing.
Yeah.
A little bit,
Well, we briefly spoke earlier, and I mentioned, non-lesbian filmmaker, straight guy, Joe Swanberg is a filmmaker based in Chicago. But I feel like, as an example, or even Lynn Shelton, to name a female filmmaker, not queer, but she's a beautiful person and wonderful writer. She passed away suddenly a few years ago, Lynn Shelton, based in Seattle. But she figured out, she's like, every summer she started making a film, and she was teaching the fall and winter semesters, kind of like Kelly Reichardt. So for those who don't know Kelly Reichardt, like, look her up. She's really, really beautiful writer and storyteller. I don't know where she's getting her funding either. It's all a big, huge mystery. It's case by case. It's person by person. It's filmmaker by filmmaker. It's project by project. She, like Lynn Shelton and probably Joe Swanberg, making their first couple indie features without any quote unquote famous faces or names. Unfortunately, I think, for worse more than better, especially since the pandemic, it seems like it's just harder for independent filmmakers like us, especially if you don't have the budget to get a famous face or name.
Yeah.
But I do notice when you just scroll around the platforms, streaming platforms, like, a lot of things are still being funded and made without famous names and people, but they're 90% of the time, they're not queer stories, and they're not lesbian-led stories.
Right. Well, that is where you run into a little bit of a hiccup, I think, because I think there's this generation coming up who doesn't really care about whether there's a name in it. They're really looking for cool stories. They're looking to be provoked. They're looking to be enticed by something. I think that I had talked to somebody recently who runs an AI sort of, like, they tell you where your film can be marketed and blah, blah, blah. But they said they had done a ton of research, and that these days, when people are looking up a movie, they're interested in the director and they're interested in the production company. So I thought that was really interesting. But it also, begs the question whether a less, I shouldn't say less expensive. You make movies for $100,000, but like a less expensive, like the verticals that are coming in, you know, like whether that's worth going to look a place to start making film. Like I feel like you could make it film for very little money if it's a vertical, because you don't have to fill the background with too much. You just need a good
No.
story. I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, and I'm working on that right now.
Yeah, cool.
Because I mean, again, for better or for worse, it's in my wheelhouse. I mean, I started in radio and then in public access community media.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I grew up in the Midwest, in Michigan, and I was very, very, very drawn to tape recorders and audio and radio and kind of like how do you communicate to the masses, right? Mass communication.
Yeah.
I didn't have all the articulation for it then, but you know, I quit my job when I was 23. I went to college at 23, and I pursued my film degree, my bachelor's, inspired by people around me who were queer and really brilliant and talented. You know, I kind of found the little enclave of artists and musicians and weirdos, right? And I was in a band with my boyfriend at the time. And that's, you know, cross pollinating is what we were, you know, ended up doing. And then it's like all these years later, I'm like, oh man, how is our government worse than George Bush?
I don't want to get into that. That's too depressing.
I'm just going to plant the seed. I'll just stop there.
All right. I'm just curious though, then, if you started in radio, how did you get into film, and what was your first movie?
My first movie was a short Super 8 film.
Wow.
And it was part of my first semester in college, in film school in Michigan.
What was it called?
Just Suppose.
Just Suppose. Was it a queer story?
Yeah. A queer story, and I hadn't slept with a woman yet.
Really?
But I wanted to.
Huh.
And then it turned out I slept with the woman who was in the movie.
You slept with your actress? Don't you know that's the number one?
Well, after shooting was done.
Okay. Fair enough.
And it wasn't during, and I wasn't sure, but I mean, I knew who she was from within the scene we were in, right? Yeah. So I knew that she was already a performer. She already had a persona. She's very intelligent, still is. Yeah. She's in New Orleans now. But yeah, it was kind of like a vibe, a feeling, and she was open to it. Would you want to be blah, blah, blah. She didn't have to memorize lines. I kind of, you know, is more a visual story. And yeah, and then I just had the guts, to be honest. This is kind of
go for it.
A personal story, but I feel like I feel good about it, not like shy about it really. Is that we shot, and I just had the guts to say, like, would you want to have a drink sometime, you know? Yeah. And then she said yes, and then I, you know, picked her up later, and we went to a gay bar and had a drink, and then it was kind of like, oh. By the time I dropped her off, I just kind of felt like, well, it's now or never.
Yeah.
Like I had to risk the rejection.
Yeah.
But it was the pull and the attraction was strong enough to risk rejection, right? It comes down to that with human beings, right? In general, like whatever your sexual or romantic identity tends to be, which can also be shifting. Yeah. It's kind of like, you know, here's the potential rejection, and then here's the potential wow.
Right.
And for me, lucky enough, it was wow.
No kidding. Look where it got you. You sent you on a whole other path. It's an interesting thing. You know, it's you have a story. Everybody has a story. We've got National Coming Out Day coming up on October 11th. And, you know, I think those stories are kind of, they need to be heard. I mean, we're trying to tell stories. My stories are more sort of, they're not as focused in terms of coming out, but have you done a coming out story? And more than that, like so after you had this experience with this woman, did you then say, yes, this is who I am? And then did you come out to the world, or did you hold it in for a little while? Was it
It was, I definitely knew I couldn't go back.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I knew that I couldn't go back to what my life was before, because it was too powerful of an attraction and a desire, and connection, with her at the time. And then, and I mean, she was a wild card too. Like, she's just, her own person doing her own thing. And she moved away, from Michigan about a year or so after that. But I think it was catalyst and recognition, acting on instinct, and it's a hard thing to gauge, right?
Yeah.
I mean, before that, because, we're talking like, I'm not in my 30s, let's just say that. People might be watching that. But it's like, this is before cell phones.
Yeah.
So
Also
before I asked her to, pardon?
Also before social media, though. So,
oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know whether that made it better or worse, but it definitely, are allowed to keep things, private and allowed to let the experience grow in a more
exactly
on your own control,
Yeah. I mean, I have memories of sitting in my car in the parking lot of a gay bar in Michigan just to see people going in and out.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Just to kind of work up the courage.
Yeah.
To go in there. I didn't have a friend with me to go, let's go in there.
Right.
Yet, that would happen soon after that. But but everyone's different, right? I was already the kind of personality or spirit, as a younger kid, to kind of pursue my instincts and pursue that thrust of what's compelling to me, and desires compelling. Who are my people? Where are my people? Like, the boyfriend I broke up with after that, he was one of my people, but the two boyfriends before that, not so much.
Yeah.
Right. And so that was actually a difficult transition, because I knew I was hurting him, but it was way too much of a pull for me to be able to not keep going in the direction it was.
Well, you know what I think it's interesting hearing you, the way you're describing it and talking about it, is that you incorporate, there's a lot of sexuality in the films you make. And obviously, and I agree, I'm going to speak for you. I mean, I feel like when two people come together, or three, or however many, you learn, if you put it on film, you learn about the person and the relationship in a way that can be better than having a conversation. The way they interact with each other, the way the whole thing unfolds can tell an audience a lot, and it can show the growth of a relationship. It can show a lot of stuff. I'm wondering, first question I have in that regard is just, is there a favorite movie where you felt that theme or those ideas that you infuse in a lot of things you do, whether it coalesced into the most pure form of what you want to say?
Of my own work?
Yeah, you have your own work, yeah.
Oh, wow. I don't think I can pick, because there are nuances and dynamics, and I kind of love them all. And then also the different forms I want to play with. It's just part of my nature, where, like, when I did Jamie and Jesse Are Not Together, there's musical numbers, and Jesse thinks she's in love with her best friend, and she has to decide, is she going to tell her before she moves to New York, or in 10 days, or leave it alone and not ruin the friendship. So that's like the plot. But I was really interested in telling a story about intimacy, between these women and between women in general, but also myself and my lesbian friends in my own lived life. So, like, my best friend Anne, I kind of wrote that as an ode to my relationship with her, which, Jamie and Jesse are not together. Like, we were girlfriends, 20 some years ago, but we've also lived together as housemates, and we're best friends, and we have each other's backs. And because we know each other so well and trust each other, and our personalities mesh easily, people think we're together as lovers.
Yeah.
Probably even more so as we're older than we were when we were actual girlfriends, right? Because you're even more relaxed.
Yeah.
And it's like, where do you see that represented in film?
Yeah.
It's definitely there. I mean, because there's other countries that do it really well, more than the United States. Because, let's be frank, the United States is, even before all these dark fascist regimes, was not properly funding, historically doesn't properly fund artists and filmmakers. And film is the most expensive medium you could try to be playing in, as you know.
Sure.
So, part of what keeps me going is that I'm not supposed to be statistically able to keep going. So I'm basically.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah,
I do know it. I'm sort of like stubborn about it. I'm just like, oh no, you're not going to tell me I can't do this. All of you out there are not going to tell me I can't tell stories like I want to. I'll just find another way. But it's getting harder to find that other way. As like.
But you and I'll just propose right now, because my mind goes all over the place. Oh, we could do a vertical series where we pass the baton back and forth.
That could be fun.
We have a little bit of a foundation we work from, so it's not too wacko, or I would want us both to be enjoying it, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, are you enjoying?
Well, I'm into wacko. I mean, come on.
I'm in Chicago right now. You're in LA.
Yeah, that could be fun.
It become its own animal.
Yeah.
You know how to entertain well and craft wonderfully.
Yeah.
I'll just
shoot some pretty good sex scenes too. We have that in common.
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh my God. That's always a journey, don't you think? Like every time we're entering into another scene that holds some sexual content or even nudity. It doesn't matter. Everybody has their own way of going into it. And so I feel like you have to maneuver, what does this person need? And how am I going to get the most out of this actress? How do I make her the most comfortable I can make? I don't know. There's like all kinds of parameters you have to set up for yourself. Absolutely. I don't know how do you go into it? I don't.
You mean filming sex scenes?
Yeah. I mean, what's your process? Like,
I'd have to say thus far, it's project by project basis, actor by actor basis, right? There are actors who have pleasantly surprised me by going, well, I don't care if you show my breasts or my nipples. And I'm like, wasn't even what I was asking, right? Yeah. Okay, good to know. Very importantly noted. But then if the other person doesn't want to, I don't want them to feel.
Yeah, of course not.
They should, because she's okay with it. Yeah. So it's really everyone's comfort level is up to them.
I agree.
And I can work around it. I also really feel like there's a real art to foreplay. And women, whether you're gay, straight, queer, lesbian, identified, I find, I'm just speaking for myself, in all the lovers I've had by now, which is where Easy Abby comes in as a web series. But that a lot more foreplay is what a lot of women are into. And that doesn't mean necessarily an hour of time. It's not like a time. Yeah. It's nuance, and it's flirting, and it's build up, and it's, maybe using words or not.
Look, I think, and also that representation on film is, especially in the queer space, is important too, because, for one thing, I think that people who are turned on by each other. You can be two men, two women, a male and a female. We are all human beings looking for love, looking for the turn on, looking for intimacy, right? And
Yeah.
our world right now is negating, I think, I don't know what the statistics are, but a huge part of our citizenship, saying that, no, there's only one way and this other way isn't. I mean, it's starting to go back to the 50s, so it goes back to that whole, I mean, coming out day is fantastic, but it needs to be backed up by these stories that get out there in front of people and say,
Absolutely.
look at love. Love is love. Sex is sexy with everybody, I mean,
and it's
so
moment
what
to
you're doing
moment.
is a lot of that, you're putting visibility front and center in a multitude of ways,
Absolutely. And I know that we have a few minutes, just looking at the clock, is that, the feature I just shot in Chicago almost a year ago, I'm in post now, should be
Lucy
done.
Is a Loser.
Lucy is a Loser. And it definitely has erotic scenes and intimacy and making out, but I'm taking a little bit more of a chance, because without worrying about how much of that is in the real estate of the film, because I'm writing about working class. I'm writing about having no money. Lucy is living in her friend's garage when we meet her. She's pawned all of her instruments. She's a guitarist and a drummer and a songwriter, and she's 9 months sober after falling off the wagon, and she just is trying to like maintain and keep going to her meetings, and doesn't want to get involved, doesn't want to be in a band because she doesn't trust herself. She doesn't want to meet anybody. She doesn't trust herself. And then she gets a letter from a lawyer who she thinks is a bill collector, but it's a lawyer saying her Aunt Julia has left her something in her will, and she died 10 months ago in Michigan. So that's where Act 1 is going, but it's, pretty important to me personally, being from working class, in the Midwest, and my dad having a mental illness and addiction and alcoholism, and my mom trying to hold it all together. And then I have an understanding and an insight around that. And then, of course, being an artist in this world, in the capitalistic world, you don't even have to necessarily grow up poor or working class to have a big spoonful of like reality of how difficult it is to tell different stories, and feminist stories, and female-led stories, and queer-led stories. Absolutely. And people falling in love who are not the heteronormative.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have to wrap up, I think. Wendy Jo, we have to have a call because we are way overdue. We could talk for another 2 hours, I swear to God. I do want to, as they say, housekeeping. First, to just reiterate that this series is going to come back. We're going to do a monthly film and chat, and every month we're going to have another lovely, lovely female filmmaker on, and hopefully have more fun conversations like this, because I loved this conversation. It jived with me really, really well. So I hope everybody turns back in for that. And I guess I'll trust Catherine. Venus will put it out where it's going, and OML will announce it, so you'll know when and all of that other stuff. And then if you want to try Venus, you can do it for free. And if you do it, they are for a limited time offering a free membership for the life of you. Free lifetime membership. So like you have nothing to lose to go and just sign up and say, yes, I want to do this. And actually you get a good benefit out of it in the end, because it's going to go on forever. And, you're going to be able to meet a bunch of people and have other experiences. Like I think they're going to do film nights. I think they're going to do other kinds of interview things where you're going to hear from different people from different walks of life, which I think is really cool. I don't, have the whole vision yet, but I'm excited to learn about it. So go to welcometovenus.com. And you can also follow the socials on Instagram. It's Meet on Venus app. And then on TikTok and Facebook, it's Meet on Venus. So go
Meet
follow.
on Venus. Yes.
Yes, we love. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful idea to put a community of people like this together, I think. Don't you?
And if you, yes, I do. And you can always also look at OML TV on YouTube for all of the queer and lesbian content.
Yeah.
And they have 1 million subscribers, and it's fantastically curated.
Fantastic.
If you want to see my lesbian web series, Easy Abby, both seasons are on OML TV on YouTube. If you want to watch Good Kisser, like I said, Apple TV and Amazon. Jamie and Jesse are not together. I'm going to be putting that on my YouTube channel, Juicy Planet, next week.
All right. Well, I will also plug my stuff and just say that Witchy Ways, which is the most important one right now, please, please, please go follow Witchy Ways everywhere. It's Witchy Ways Movie on all the socials. And we're out on right now, Amazon, Apple, and Fandango. And then we'll have other streaming opportunities coming up. Wendy Jo's seen it.
Yes, it's fantastic. Witchy Ways.
Yeah.
Watch
All
it,
right.
stream it, love it.
Yeah. I adore you.
I adore you too.
Okay, we'll talk soon.
Love you guys. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining us.